Wowee, so we're all chomping at the bit to see the Nick Rekieta bodycam video arrest footage, but looks like it'll cost $3,000. I just made a call. Now, if you don't know who Nicholas Rekieta is, let me start from the beginning and we're just going to do the highlights. He's this famous rock star YouTuber, LawTube, everything like that. I guess Nick became famous by covering certain trials, live streaming them. Maybe he kind of started the whole let's live stream together and watch a trial thing. So he live streamed apparently the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I didn't watch him then. I've heard of him, I've seen highlights. I knew when he lost his channel before, he got it back. This guy has made $1.27 million in super chats. He was like the 7th most popular in the US super chatted guy. I guess he also covered the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I watch Emily D. Baker. Sometimes I pop over to the lead attorney, but I didn't really watch Nick that often. So this whole weekend I've just been absorbing his entire case. And I just made a call to his county in Minnesota because he's a lawyer out of Minnesota, and I was shocked that the body cam footage of Nick's arrest is going to cost so much. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to crowdfund for it. I don't like to crowdfund or take donations for a specific body cam video footage because I don't want people to be disappointed. In this case, as we read through what happened here to Nick, and unfortunately there are children involved, so that's the reason there's a lot of redactions that'll have to happen. So once we see this body cam footage, it'll be interesting because cops had to use like this battering ram to get in this guy's house. I'm gonna start from the beginning if, of course, you have no idea who Nick Rekieta is. Now, things started going downhill, I guess maybe in 2024. This guy was really popular. He covered these trials. At certain points, Nick had 100,000 viewers watching him simultaneously. So this guy was the stuff, apparently. However, like the Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his own soul, huh? Because apparently things have gone really downhill. Even though I haven't watched him in a while, viewers started noticing a change with Nick. And in court documents, we're going to go over the first report of something going wrong. A person walking into the police station. God bless this person, because some people are windmilling, standing, capping so hard for Nick because he's so popular. Apparently he's helped a lot of people. He's helped a lot of other YouTubers. I guess some of them would beg him to, redirect his popular stream over to them so they would get lots of attention, lots of viewers. So while some folks are walking the line and saying, don't judge the man, whatever, blah, 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 others are really windmilling hard for Nick, to the point where I literally read on Twitter some people not caring at all about what his kids have suffered. Now, it's because of the condition of his children, which is really what prompted this whole case blowing up. A mandated reporter walked into the police station and warned them, something's going on here. I think there's some child neglect going on. Thank God for that person who did, because we cover these crime cases and something always happens. A child has lost their lives or something in some other case, and people always ask, why didn't anyone say anything? Well, in this case, 4 people apparently were witnesses, and at least one of them walked into a police station. God bless them for doing that, because these kids were rescued. They weren't harmed any further by neglect. I'm talking 5 children, all minors between the ages of 6 and 16. And some people are still standing and capping so hard for Nick, windmilling so hard for him. I understand friends, of course, loving him, but they're on his side so much, they're so passionate about him that they are literally saying, oh, those kids snitched on him, or they're kind of going the route of, who can believe kids, or what if the kids weren't really hungry, and what if the preschool teacher was just asking leading questions of the kids. I'm like, what? To me, these kids are victims, and I do still feel sorry for Nick and his wife for any addiction issues. We'll go over this all. Basically, the nail in the coffin was this YouTube video. This live stream from May 21st, 7 nights ago, a week ago today. It was called The Results of My Appeal Are In. I wonder how it went. So Nick was streaming, and they're going to mention this in these court documents we're going to cover. Nick was streaming. At one point he disappeared. He comes back. He has white powder on his nose. And by the time you get to the 4th hour, Nick is doing something crazy. I'll let you decide what the heck he's doing. Some people think maybe there's someone giving him enjoyment under the table, or was he giving himself enjoyment?
Don't worry about it. All right, guys, bathroom break. I'll be back in a minute. Peace. Don't go anywhere. Oh my God. I'm muted. I'm f***ing muted. Jim! Damn it. Let me reread this chat. This is from Medicare. I've got a problem. The problem is urination. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. That is the problem. I'll be right back. 4 minutes or so? Less, I hope. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So much urine. So much urine. That's what you have to learn. When you're old, you don't pee more. When you drink whiskey, you pee a shitload. That's all. That's all. Jim, I don't know if you know this, but there's a guy who made shirts with you and your alleged picture on the back. On the back because the Bears liked him or whatever. Patio furniture. Made these sweatshirts, his hoodie. It's got pockets in the front because people use pockets on shirts. I don't know why, like calculus students or whatever. His pockets on the front of their shirts. But it had Medicare shirts that he made from the Knoxville Knockout back when Chef Red Pill was still alive. Coach, he wasn't his chef. Coach Red Pill. Chef Red Pill would be cooler. Coach was alive. Ralph and Dick and Coach were all friends. I was there. Andy Worski was still doing cocaine. And we're like, this is funny. And Tonka still couldn't walk. Just like was in 4th grade or whatever. Did Andy wear one during the boxing match? Yes, it's white. It's who white? It's so white when I wear one of those hoodies and I go to Chicago, I just kneel on black people all the time. So I do. Anyway, I tried to find it. I tried to find my white Nationalist Medicare Fuentes hoodie, and I didn't have it in my closet. What am I, Eminem? Like I used to have cool stuff in my closet, and now all I have is woke bullshit. I tell Lady Raggers, I'm like, where's my white hoodie? She's like, you wore a white hoodie? I don't know, maybe. I was in Tennessee. I don't know what I did. Why would you do this? Why now? Why is my camera still on? I'm trying to shut the show down. I'm like, oh, we'll play the credits. No. What we'll do is we'll sit here. Guys, here's the credits. Oh my God, Nick's drunk. Yes. Cool.
I don't know what clips I'm going to put in here, but first, let you listen to my phone call. to Minnesota, so you can confirm that the body cam video will be $3,000.
You have reached the San Diego County Law Enforcement Center. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time. To reply, please hold while I transfer your call. Record this, Carol.
Hi, my name's Paula Mooney, and I'm from Plunder True Crime Media Company. I'm attempting to get the body cam footage of the arrest of Nicholas Rekieta.
Okay. So I can tell you right now, because it's still an active opening investigation, body cam, they have to redact because there was juveniles involved.
Yeah.
And anyway, their fee for redaction is $60 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he estimated there was going to be about 50 hours of redaction.
Wow.
Or of his time.
Okay.
So at this point, you can request it, but it's going to be, like I said, 10 business days before we can get anything else.
And it'll be approximately $3,000?
Yep.
Okay.
For the redaction.
Okay.
Because there's that much body cam footage.
Gotcha. Okay, so I already sent an email, and then will the county attorney have to approve its release, or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye-bye. So I just listened to that call again and realized she told me it would be released in about 10 business days. So that would take us to about June 11th or so. Hopefully, we will get it by then. And the reason I don't like crowdfunding or anything like that for body cam video footage is because I feel like someone's always disappointed. Someone's always going to say, I didn't expect it to be that redacted, or what have you. You never know when the body cam footage is going to come in. It can be hours and hours and hours worth of footage, and cops might end up blurring the whole freaking thing and you only have audio, or they might cut out so much of the audio where it's not even worthwhile. So you never know what you're going to get. And that's why I like getting the money from other means when I can earn enough to pay for it myself. So we'll see if a miracle happens. If God wants me to pay this $3,000 for this body cam footage, maybe we'll see it, unless a different entity, I'm talking to you, Law and Crime, or someone who's, really bringing in the ducats from YouTube, maybe they'll get it first. So, first off, the crazy video live stream, which has been deleted from May 21st, there's a search warrant that states they watched this video. But I want to start from the beginning. Let's make it a little bit more chronological. I'm going to try and pronounce this county correctly. Kandiyohi County Sheriff's Office, there's an incident report. Now this happened May 16th, 5 days before Nick even streamed that crazy live stream. A person walked in, family service, received in person. Short description. The person has a mandatory reporting issue that they wanted to speak with an officer about. They titled it, It's Possible Child Neglect and Abuse. So it ended up with 3 people being arrested. Now there's Nick Rekieta, his wife is Kayla Rekieta, and their quote-unquote babysitter friend, maybe a throuple, people say. Her name is April Mholti. I don't know how to pronounce it, I didn't watch a lot of this. But first, let's go over the highlights of the application for the search warrant, which was filed in the district court in the state of Minnesota on May 23rd. So this officer, Quinn Pomplin, a licensed peace officer in the state of Minnesota, made this application. After the person walked into the police station, this officer believes there might be certain things on Nick's property, including controlled substances, including methamphetamine, cocaine, or any other controlled substances. And you'll see why the officer said so, because of watching certain prior videos and, of course, the upcoming video and other items. It talks about Nick's house in Spicer, Minnesota, and it is a gorgeous home. This home is worth nearly $900,000, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, nearly 5,000 square feet, and it does have that black tar driveway that they mention in the search warrant. It talks about the residence having a tar driveway leading east from a certain street. The residence is 2 stories tall with a 3-stall garage. So indeed, it looks like a 1-story here to me. Maybe it's really 2 stories. It's a gorgeous home, and I can't imagine it being really dirty. You know, I'm not going to, of course, list the address. I'm not going to dox any of these people, but it talks about Nicholas Robert Rekieta, born on December 16th, 1981. So Nick will be turning 43 this year. Now here's the case background. On May 16th, 2024, the Kandiyohi County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Dave Nestor received a report regarding the possible child neglect and controlled substance use. The reporter indicated that Nick resides at this certain house, and he lives there with his wife, Kayla Christine Rekieta, and she was born on March 9th, 1984, so she's already 40 years old. They have 5 children, ages 6 to 16, and these children, the condition of the children, it's going to end up being the crux of this case. The reporter indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him, so the reporter is a male, reporting neglect to the children and possible controlled substance use and a questionable relationship with an additional couple. So they'll name that couple too. They're calling Nick a social media blogger. He's really just this famous YouTuber. I guess he's on Rumble and all these other places. It says he and his wife Kayla had befriended hosts from a different social media blogger. This other couple, these other individuals were identified as Aaron M. Holt and April M. Holt. Now, it might be M. Holt, I'm not sure. I've listened to it over and over. April is only 29, so she's turning 30 in December, on December 20th, right after Nick's birthday, it seems. It looks like Aaron is 48, or he will be turning 48 on Christmas Eve this year. Wow, now, Aaron and his wife April, they'll talk about Aaron talking about getting divorced. So this officer knows personally, these are personalities of the Steel Toe morning show, which used to be in St. Cloud, Minnesota radio. However, as of recent years, the show has been a social media entertainment show strictly online based. I've never watched that show, so I don't know them. It was reported that the M. Holtz may have been staying with the Rekietas and the home was in disarray and cluttered. It was reported from a church preschool teacher that the children had complained of being hungry, not being fed, and wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days at a time and would start to smell. Now that makes me feel very sad for those kids. So whoever is defending Nick, and I understand he has a lot of super fans, I guess, or people who feel guilty or feel this parasocial relationship with him, who feel like he's a good friend and helped people. Yeah, I understand people wanting to support him and, judge not lest you be judged. The demons of drug use and all this other stuff they were into has apparently really taken him down. I mean, some of these clips, they're nonsensical. I just hear a lot of racist ranting and a lot of stuff. I can understand people wanting to support their friend, wanting to support his journey of sobriety. We hope they all get sober, especially if they're trying to raise 5 kids. If I'm not mistaken, I think these kids were homeschooled, which is scary to me. They'll talk about Nick being in no condition to take care of kids as they go on here. But the people cannot deny that it was 4 people that made this report. So this person who walked into that police station, that sheriff's office, indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him reporting neglect to the children. So God bless all those 4 people plus the 5th, who is the mandated reporter, a preschool teacher. So I guess it's a preschool teacher at church. The reporter indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him to report the neglect. I'm assuming the preschool teacher is from the church. I'm not clear on that part. But at least 5 people here are involved in terms of being witnesses or reporters. Now, some people are thinking, oh, you can't believe this, these court documents. Of course, they're only allegations. Of course, this man, his wife, and April, they are innocent until proven guilty. But so many people have such strong feelings for this Nick guy that they're almost like, F them kids. It's such a strange thing I'm witnessing here, where they're letting their strong feelings kind of take the lead over what Nick's children obviously are saying about their living conditions. So I don't know where the kids are now. I don't know if they're properties of the state. I don't know if a relative has been able to take them. I hope they're in better care now. So the children did complain of being hungry, not being fed, wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days at a time, and would start to smell. Very sad. Nicholas was reported to being lethargic and appeared high or drugged, driving a car around. That's another point we can't skip around lightly. I can still hold very much compassion for this man, and the demons, the horrors of drugs, but also hold compassion for the people who were endangered, allegedly, according to this court document, by Nick driving around lethargic, appearing high or drugged, driving a car around in that condition. When you see the outtakes from his most recent live video, you can't imagine anyone being in that condition and having children in the home under his care. And how was his wife looking? Another individual advised the reported that Nicholas will walk out randomly during sermons at church and have noticed behavioral changes in him. It was alleged Kayla looks anorexic and Nicholas has lost a substantial amount of weight recently. So you can kind of tell in their photos, and if you look back, older photos, they both look a little bit healthier. Older videos, he looks healthier. One individual described Nicholas of having injection or track marks on his arm. Some people have looked around and they thought they've seen marks on him. The reporter reiterated concerns for possible neglect and or controlled substance use within the home. Thankfully, somebody just didn't sit back and, they didn't just, I'm sure they prayed over the situation. I'm glad they didn't just sit back and pray, but they also acted. Maybe they felt it in their gut, I've got to say something. These kids aren't looking right. Can you imagine kids wearing the same clothes for 3 or 4 days, coupled with the fact that this man made so much money? According to Playboard, this YouTuber has earned a total revenue of $1,272,836 from more than 140,000 super chats. That makes Rekieta Law the 7th most super chatted YouTuber in the United States and the 39th most super chatted YouTuber worldwide. Now, I know YouTube takes a chunk of super chats. Of course, we have to pay taxes on all this we earn. So let's say if he only got 500 grand of that or less when all is said and done, that's still a lot of money to earn. That's not even talking about, any sponsorships, anything else, any AdSense or whatever this guy has earned. And for his kids to be wearing the same clothes, according to court documents, 3 or 4 days at a time, and they're smelling and hungry, that's a problem. These court documents are inferring, we can just read between the lines, where all that money is going. And that's another thing people surmise. That's why others are potentially so upset over this, because folks have given him a lot of money. They've super chatted him, obviously, to make him the 7th most popular super chatted person in the United States. That's a big feat. But also a lot of people have supported him and given to him, and I guess they don't want to ever think that all this money has gone towards illicit substances, allegedly, and not towards feeding the children like they should be fed. This officer started to review Nick's social media blogs, they call it, along with the Imholtes. The blogs, I guess they mean videos, are commonly related to legal issues and high-profile trials, as Nicholas is a licensed attorney. He's known to drink alcoholic beverages excessively on these video blogs. Now that I remember, he would be, sipping on whiskey or something, brown liquor back in the day, and, he was okay. It wasn't really my shtick or thing, and I don't know, I think I just like Emily D. Baker better. I found her more engaging and entertaining, and you just vibe with who you vibe with. The officer said, I immediately noted that Nick's appearance in recent months has changed. In videos from January 2024 compared to May 2024, Nick appears to have lost weight, appears tired, and appears overall strung out, common with controlled substance users. And that's what a lot of people were commenting. I'm glad, thank the Lord, I waited till today to make this video. I've been like soaking it up all Memorial Day weekend, watching so many different YouTubers cover it, digging for the court documents. That's why I had to call the county today, because I'm like, where's this body cam? I've got to see the officers like ramming open that front door. It'll be something when we see it. Anyway, viewers were saying, yeah, it doesn't look like Nick is just having a little dranky drank. You know, you can tell when certain YouTubers, you know, you have a little drink or whatever, some more than others. You're not generally is just out of it as Nick appeared. Like when they speak of him coming back from a bathroom break with white substance on his nose, or, you know, his affect wasn't of a man who was just inebriated off of alcohol. Nicholas commonly refers to his studio as his basement in his own residence. Nick has been the victim of swatting phone calls, which is sad, which is another reason I never want to go live either. If you don't know what swatting is, maybe you've seen it, like I Show Speed, that one popular YouTuber, he was swatted a lot. True crime YouTubers have been swatted. It's really scary. It's the stupid thing where people are live and viewers who think it's funny or they don't like the YouTuber or whatever, they'll look up their address and they'll call the cops and say, oh, go over to Matterhorn Road where this person lives. They're holding a gun on their family, or, you know, whatever it is. And so they think it's funny to watch the cops, you know, beating down the door of this person. It's a very dangerous and illegal thing to do. It's fake. It's a false report. And cops oftentimes show up with guns ablazing because the person who's swatting the person usually describes some very dangerous situation going on, and they like to get their thrill out of watching how the YouTuber or streamer, Twitch streamer, whomever reacts. You know, they're streaming live and all of a sudden it's like, oh, cops at the door. Anyway, Nick has been swatted, so he's already known to this officer and the Kandiyohi County Sheriff's Office because of these calls. They know how popular he is. In fact, we're going to take a look at Nick's court hearing after this arrest. He's so popular, even during the Zoom hearing, not only do you hear all these beeps of people coming in to join the Zoom hearing, you also hear one guy who's like screaming out, basically, do away with yourself in the court hearing.
This is the state of Minnesota versus Nicholas Robert Rekieta. Am I saying that correctly? You've told me before.
Yes, sir, Rekieta.
I have your date of birth is December 16, 1981.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your appearance today is based on 3 counts to a complaint order for detention. The record should reflect that Alex Kornahachi appears for the state of Minnesota. Mr. Rekieta, you are self-representing yourself at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Count 1 is second-degree possession, 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. This is in violation of Minnesota Statute 152.022, subdivision 2, print A, print 1. The maximum sentence for that count is 25 years in prison and or a $500,000 fine. Count 2 is possession of ammunition or any firearm with the user of controlled substances. This is a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum sentence is 364 days in the Kandiyohi County Jail and or a $3,000 fine. Count 3, endangerment of a child when present with a sale or possession of a controlled substance. Again, a gross misdemeanor. Maximum.
You know your coke out, Nick, and yourself, you stupid.
I'm going to warn everyone again, this is a court proceeding. If you were in a courtroom with me, I would remove you. So any violation of that will be removed. Ms. Block?
Judge, I just disabled people the ability to unmute themselves, so I will work to unmute people as they need to speak to the court this morning.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, if you're the kind of popular rock star YouTuber like Nick, and you've been as popular as having 100,000 people watching your stream, and I guess it had gone downhill, he didn't have as many people watching his live streams. I don't know what cases he's been covering lately, but if you're going to have that many people watching, unfortunately, you're going to get some swatters, you're going to get a lot of haters. So basically, when the sheriff's office responded to those previous swatting calls, they were at the same address in Spicer, Minnesota. While this officer reviewed Aaron's social media video blogs, Aaron recently indicated that he and April are getting a divorce. Aaron goes on to say that he has experimented with cocaine 3 times and Molly 6 or 7 times in the past recently. So I've seen different clips from Aaron, and allegedly April has been hanging out with Nick and Kayla. There's all these allegations of what's going on there. People claiming they're a throuple. There's some hot tub video with the 4 of them and accusations of swinging, all this stuff. Aaron goes on to say he has experimented with coke and Molly. On December 19th, 2023, the Imholtz broadcasted a podcast from Rekieta's studio, with the podcast being named Live from Spicer, STES, December 19th, 2023. Throughout Imholtz's video blogs, it is apparent that they and the Rekietas were friends and may have recently had a falling out. It should be noted, in recent videos of the Imholtzes, April has at times also appeared tired, lethargic, and strung out as well. So it's sad to see that decline. Like, I don't know how April ever acted. I've only ever watched Nick. I didn't know anything about his wife. I didn't know anything about this other couple. It says in both Nick and Imholtz's video blogs from the Rekieta studio, it is apparent they are in the same room and the items in the background appear the same. At one point during Imholtz's video, Nicholas walks in the background and grabs an item, which would show that the background is not a backdrop curtain and that it was the layout of the actual room. So they're using all this evidence to prove, like, you guys know my setup right now, and you can probably see, like, it's just real stuff. It's not like, I hate those fake backgrounds. I never like those because I can always see, like, you know, the edges of people and they go in and out, and I don't know, I don't prefer them. So they were using it, the cops were watching these videos to see, oh yeah, that's the actual background of the actual room. April's in this room with Nick. On March 22nd, 2024, Aaron did a video blog where he talked about Nick and insinuated controlled substance use, and also referenced a video blog that Nick put online the night before, May 21st, 2024, that has since been taken off the internet. If you want to watch it, the whole 4-hour and 4-minute whatever thing is linked to below. Also, the PDFs that I'm reading from are linked to below also. Aaron indicates in this blog that Nick needs help, and he needs to get help for his kids because of his substance abuse. So his friend or former friend, whatever, Aaron, is saying, look, he needs help. Aaron points out a time in the video where Nick has a white powdery substance on his nose. This crazy 4-hour live stream that went viral, that Nick removed from YouTube, it's gone viral now. And apparently the next day, May 22nd, this officer was able to review the video that was taken off of Nick's YouTube and Rumble social media sites. The video was from May 21st, 2024. It's of Nick in his basement studio talking about a court appeals ruling that he lost. So yeah, that's why it's titled that. Apparently it was about some defamation lawsuit or something. I don't really know. It says the results of my appeal are in. I wonder how it went. That's why it's named that. I guess Nick was involved in some kind of defamation lawsuit, but I don't know the details of that. Again, I haven't watched this guy much. It says he appears in the video to be drinking alcoholic beverages and eventually appears under the influence of a substance or substances. The entire video blog is 4 hours and 4 minutes long. Approximately 2 hours and 46 minutes into the video, Nick leaves to go use the restroom. When he returns, only about 4 minutes later, at the 2 hour, 50 minute, and 40-second mark, he appears to be making an excited look and has a white powdery substance on his nose. This officer believes his behavior is indicative of central nervous system stimulants. This officer believes, based on their training and experience as well as Nick's behavior, that he ingested this white powdery substance through his nasal cavity while off camera. So they talk about their training and experience. They know that ingesting controlled substances through the nasal cavity is common amongst controlled substance users and is often referred to as snorting. This officer also noted throughout the video, Nicholas is so under the influence of a substance to the point where he has to close close one eye to read his screen. He rambles, he slurs his speech, definitely. I haven't watched the entire 4 hours. It is difficult. There is one point, oh my goodness, where he leaves the stream for like 45 minutes. It's crazy. So Nick left his YouTube stream. I wrote my notes while he took another bathroom break. This was at 1 hour and 9 minutes into his live stream. He did not return until 1 hour and 56 minutes into his stream. So he just left the stream for 47 minutes. I don't even know if he explained anything when he came back. So apparently he would leave the stream. No wonder it was like 4 hours long. Oh my goodness. But the important part is they're saying this officer noted throughout the video, Nick is so under the influence of substance to the point where he has to close one eye to read a screen, rambles, slurs his speech. It says Nick would obviously not be able to care for his children in this state of intoxication. Now, I don't know the condition of his wife at this point, but just from the outtakes, just from the little clips of seeing Nick's condition throughout that live stream, you can't imagine a 6-year-old especially being under his care. I don't know how old the other children are in between the 6 and the 16-year-old, but it's scary to think of a parent being in that condition. It should be noted that this officer was a drug recognition evaluator for several years, so the behavior of Nick in his video indicates multiple polysubstance use. This can be from stimulants and depressants. So this is why they wrote up this search warrant. Thank God they were proactive. They got it signed and they got to go in there. And just wait till you hear what happened. I'm just looking through the rest of it here. This one is 11 pages, and we'll find out what they found. Now, if we look at the actual complaint, the order of detention, this is 9 pages, but it won't be that long. State of Minnesota versus Nicholas Robert Rekieta. So he has all these different counts. Count 1, second degree possession of 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamines. Count 2, possession of ammo, any firearm, user of controlled substances. Count 3, endangered child, permit present sale, possession of controlled substances. G. People are focusing in on the count 1, the possession of 25 grams or more, and how the maximum sentence could be 25 years or $500,000 or both. Whoa, there goes all that super chat money. Well, it's probably already, of course, all gone by now. I don't know when he earned the bulk of that. But let's read this statement of probable cause, what happened when the sheriff's office showed up at this house. On May 23rd, 2024, at approximately 9:13 a.m., a search warrant was executed in Spicer at the home of Nick and Kayla Rekieta. As law enforcement approached the residence, Nick Rekieta was traveling southbound on a street in a vehicle. He was near his home. Nick was stopped by law enforcement. Upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and she wouldn't let them in. So imagine there's this little girl. She's got to be scared out of her mind. I don't know where her mom was, but she's opening the door. She's probably scared. She didn't let them in. And Nick would not provide the door code to enter the residence. So the little girl, I'm assuming, opened the door. Maybe she shut it. And then law enforcement entered the home utilizing a door ram. So, oh my goodness, imagine these kids. The parents in God knows what condition. The cops are ramming down their door. The cops are doing what they have to do to protect these kids. They don't know if it's like a Ruby Frankie situation out in Utah or whatever. You know, thank God those cops got them in time too. Upon entry, law enforcement located Kayla and April, and 4 juveniles were also in the home. So we don't know which 4 kids were there. Officers noted the home was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. Which is sad because this home on Zillow is gorgeous. You know, of course it's staged and it's beautiful. I don't know if they'll keep this home or whatnot, but to think of it being in that condition, it sounds beyond just normal kind of messy home. Like my home isn't the neatest, I'm not gonna front, but would cops call it extremely cluttered? I hope not. Clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home? I hope not. Nick returned to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of the search warrant. When given a copy, he looked at it and threw it on the ground. Like he's demanding a copy of the search warrant. He's a lawyer. He knows all the right questions to ask. And wait till you see him coming up in his hearing, how he wants to represent both of these women, his wife and his so-called side chick, you know. But when he finds out his side chick, I'll just call her April, has been let out, people are like, oh, did April flip on him?
Mr. Rekieta, any objection to those conditions?
I object to the $50,000 bail. I think it's unduly burdensome and in violation of the Eighth Amendment.
All right, what about the conditions?
Release conditions sound fine.
All right, the court will set unconditionally amount of $50,000, cash or bond. Conditionally, you'll be released on your own personal recognizance. In all instances, you need to be law-abiding and show up for all your court appearances. Abstain from the use of alcohol or any mood-altering chemicals not prescribed by your physician. That will be subject to random testing. So the court will order that you meet with probation upon your release, sign their agreement, and cooperate fully. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms of any nature, or be in the presence of anyone with a firearm or dangerous weapon. And do not leave the state of Minnesota without prior approval of the court. Any questions about those release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. Did you say 50 or 15,000?
50,000. 50.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask this. Do you still want a speedy omnibus, or can it be scheduled in normal course?
Very scheduled normal course, Your Honor.
Very well. Madam Clerk, do we have a date for that?
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm just going to interrupt. This is Katie Block, the court administrator. Do you want this next hearing to be in person or remote?
In person.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Rekieta, you said contested, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, in person.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, just to clarify, timelines are waived?
Yes.
And Madam Clerk, just so the court is aware, Kristen Pierce is handling this case going forward.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
The matter has been assigned with Judge Fisher. I'm looking at Tuesday, August 20th at 2:45.
Good for the state.
Judge,
Without having a calendar, sounds great.
Very well. Any other business we can conduct?
Now,
Yes,
you have this. Oh,
Oh.
apologies. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have requested to see two of my clients and have been forbidden from doing so. I'd like to see them before their arraignment.
I'm not understanding your request. Can you repeat it?
As two of my clients are set for arraignment today, I have requested to see them. They have both requested to speak to their attorney, who is me, and they have been prevented from doing so up to this point. I was wondering if we could get an order to allow me to at least speak to my clients before they come into their first appearance.
Gornahachi?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court is aware. April Multi has been released.
okay.
And then I believe the other person who's referring to is his wife, Kayla. Is it Rekieta?
Rekieta.
Rekieta. I'll leave it to the court's discretion. They are charged as co-defendants. I believe she would have to waive any conflict, etc. But I don't take a position.
And to be frank, I don't know if that's a waivable conflict at this point, given they are co-defendants. But there's no request from the state that obviously they are married, so there's no request that they be separated. True?
Correct.
Well, it's an issue of denying counsel to Ms. Rekieta, so I will grant the request and leave that as an issue for Judge Fisher. At least to get us through the arraignment this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Jailer, are you able to make accommodations? Mr. Rekieta, how much time do you need?
Not long, just about 15 minutes, Your Honor.
Can the jail accommodate that?
That'd be up to the jail administrator, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I would have to talk with the jail administrator.
All right. If they have any difficulties with that, the jail administrator, since I'll be in these proceedings should contact Chief Judge Beckman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Since Ms. Rekieta is not available, at least for the next 15 minutes, do we want to take the next matter?
Fine with the state, Your Honor.
Do we want the interpreter case next?
Which case?
The interpreter case?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyway, Nick returned to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of this search warrant. He was given a copy, he looked at it and threw it to the ground. So he was angry. Here he's still flipping out in his DMs. We'll read his little apology here too. I don't know if he's repented. I hope he does, but he's demanding a search warrant. They give it to him and he tosses it on the ground. During the search, law enforcement located the following in the master bedroom: a yellow snort tube tested positive for cocaine, a black vial with a white substance inside that field tested positive for cocaine, weighed 2.2 grams, 2 credit cards listed to April, 2 .22 caliber spent shell casings on the floor of the nightstand in the master bedroom. Now, I'm no gun expert, but spent shell casings, I gotta look that up because people are pretending that could just happen. What is a spent shell casing? So it does say individual rounds or cartridges or an artillery piece or firearm that have been fired. They're called spent rounds. So it's so weird to see how people are just going over every little thing and claiming, oh, that means nothing. So what, there were spent shell casings on the floor of the nightstand in the master bedroom. So people are thinking, where did he shoot this gun? Okay, did he shoot the gun outside somewhere and bring in the shell casings? Did he shoot it inside his home? People are talking about ceiling cats and corner demons because maybe during his lives, he'll look up at the ceiling and see something imaginary and be afraid or look over in a corner or something. So that is a concern with a person allegedly under the influence of substances, and then you have spent shell casings on the floor of the nightstand. What do they mean on the floor of the nightstand? Do they mean on the floor in the nightstand? Do they mean on the floor next to the nightstand? I know cops aren't usually, of course, English majors, but sometimes when I'm reading through these documents, I want to know exactly what's what. So people are like, wait, what really happened here? There's this 6-hour AR with several magazines and loose ammunition. It was underneath the bed in the master bedroom. There was a glass container with metal filter and grinder and glass container that field tested positive for cocaine, located in the master bedroom dresser. Also in the safe in the master bathroom. They got into the safe too. Wow, what did they do? See, this body cam will be good. Did they drill his safe open or what? There was a bag with cards and a dollar bill that field tested positive for cocaine. Is that the $100 bill? There was like a hundo they wrote on the other document that was tested positive, maybe rolled up. There was a large corner cut baggie with white powder that field tested positive for cocaine. It weighed 18.96 grams with packaging. There were 3 small baggies that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 5.49 grams with packaging. This is what gets him, all of this. 8 green colored tablets that field tested positive for ketamine, a digital scale that field tested positive for cocaine, a metal pen with white powder that tested positive for cocaine, 2 snort tubes, 2 metal cutters. The snort tubes tested positive for cocaine. The following items were located in the safe in the master bedroom closet: a $100 bill with white powder residue that field tested positive for cocaine, a Bendel white bag with white powder substance that field tested positive for cocaine, a cocaine scooper, 2 baggies with a baggie with a funnel, an unknown brown substance. We have to see what that will test as. Additional firearms and ammunition were located in the garage. So the total amount, this is what got him, of measurable cocaine in the master bedroom was 26.67 grams with packaging. It's a Schedule II controlled substance. Ketamine is a Schedule I controlled substance. So Detective Pumplin met with Nick outside the residence. He was read his Miranda rights. He agreed to speak with officers without counsel. Nick indicated that he sleeps in the master bedroom with Kayla. He indicated April was at the home visiting. Some people are calling BS on that. Nick and Kayla were placed under arrest. While being placed under arrest, Detective Pumplin noted several injuries to the arms of Nick that appeared consistent with sores that are common with controlled substance users. They were transported to the county jail. Kayla did not speak with officers. So did Nick talk, I'm wondering? At the county jail, Nick was again read his Miranda rights and agreed to speak with officers without an attorney. Now, mind you, he's an attorney, so he knows his stuff. Nick refused to answer any questions regarding cocaine or other controlled substance use. Nick indicates he lives in that residence. He stays in the master bedroom with his wife, Kayla. April was a friend who was visiting and does not live at the residence. While being booked into the jail, Kayla requested that her prescription meds be brought to her. Upon reviewing the prescription bottles for Kayla that were brought to the jail staff found 2 unknown pills and gummies in one of the prescription bottles. The items did not match the prescription on the bottle. So there you go. She needed her prescription meds, but she had something else in there that wasn't her prescription meds. So that's the bulk of this case. Findings of probable cause, and all the charges are there. See all the links below. And there was his first appearance, statement of rights and everything. He got out on his own recognizance. They talked about $50,000 bail. So I didn't know what he had to put up to get out of there. And I'm wondering if April flipped on them. Is that why she was released, or was it just because she was just visiting? They couldn't prove she lived there or anything. Rekieta Law posted this screenshot about the news. So, hey, obviously a lot has happened. I'm sorry. For legal purposes, it must be reiterated that the sorry is for the disruption and is in no way related to any pending legal matters. So he's like, I'm not saying sorry for, what happened there. That said, please realize no one has the full story or picture on anything. It's possible no one ever will. Nothing reported is accurate, and that's not their fault. So, yeah, come on. People tend to say that, but he's saying nothing reported is accurate. So is he saying all the stuff the cops wrote up in the search warrant, the probable cause affidavit, and you need probable cause. You can't just go in there off of, oh, I just heard a rumor that maybe there might be something. No. These officers heard from a mandated reporter who walked into the sheriff's office, and that person heard from 4 different individuals, hey, something's going on with these kids. You better check out their home life. They not only heard all of that, they watched the evidence that a lot of us are now watching too, that Nick put out himself on YouTube, on Rumble, where something's not right. There's a white substance on his nose. There's the evidence over time of him and his wife losing weight, their personality change. Those who knew him are attesting to this fact. I didn't watch him enough to know, oh, there's something going on here. I didn't watch him that much, but a lot of people were, issuing this clarion call like, maybe you guys need to check into him. Even his supposed so-called friends, like a friend like Aaron, was like ringing the bell saying, oh, help. Something's going on here. So Nick is saying nothing reported is accurate, and that's not their fault. I've seen so many supportive messages. Thank you for that. I'll still be doing stuff. I'm home now. Stay tuned for show announcements and stuff here on Locals. So he's on Locals apparently. Nick said, I really wanted to go live tonight. So this was May 24th. I planned on doing Locals tonight, but I really wanted to do the first stream aftermath, blank BS, but I'm really not feeling it. I'm sorry. I'll do something tomorrow. Right now, I'm just drained and effing tired. Again, a million people will have a whole slew of opinions about me and everything. That's fine. They've earned it. They don't know the story. They can't. But they get their opinions, and I deserve my public lashings. That's about as contrite as I've seen, I guess. Him saying I deserve my public lashings. Of course he can't, get into the details of the case. He's a lawyer. He knows all that. He wrote, I ask people to focus on me and my failures and leave other people allegedly involved out of it. When it's grifting time, I'll tell you ishy jail stories or the good parts of having your house searched stories. I look forward to that. I really do. But I want him clean and sober and, repentant and coming back, not like he was before. I want the children to be safe. Like, I don't know where his kids are. I pray they're safe. If the kids are taken away, as they should be, if they're in an unsafe environment and they're not eating right and they're in their same clothes 3 and 4 days in a row, if those allegations in these court documents are true, yeah, I want his kids safe first and foremost. Above all, I care about the kids and I care about this couple, for them to get healthy and to be clean and eventually, I'm assuming, get their kids back if they don't have them already. But anyway, he says, I want to be jovial and optimistic for those things because they can be funny and self-deprecating. Tonight, I don't feel jovial. Peace. Talk soon. So yeah, I can see why he wouldn't feel jovial. I mean, yeah. So we'll see if we see the body cam. That's why I asked about the county attorney's office having to approve it. I know it's an active case. It's been referred to the county attorney's office for review. And once it's been reviewed, sounds like they already have an estimate of, the county attorney sounds like he's going to release this body cam. 50 hours worth of video editing is a lot. Believe me, I know. It is hard. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time. We don't know how many officers responded. Maybe it's in here somewhere. But they have to take all that individual footage. And then if they do blur, you can track the faces of the kids. Like if you use Final Cut Pro or whatever, and you can say blur this face, but it's always like a little wonky. And then you have to like go through, and it's a lot. So I see why it will take them that long to do. But that's really it in this case. His next hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024 at 2:45 p.m. That's Minnesota time. I'm assuming his wife, I believe I heard in the hearing, his wife wants to go at the same time. So his wife, if I don't put these hearings in this video, I'll link to the YouTubers below who got permission to record. There's one YouTuber named Law Talk with Mike. He says he got permission to record. His video's title, It Is Worse Than I Thought. So if you want to watch all of his, commentary and Nick's appearance. And then another YouTuber I have to find was able to get Kayla's hearing, her appearance, and she did talk about, yes, she wanted her husband to represent her. She wanted their cases, I think, to be kind of like conjoined or whatever, so they might appear together. We'll see if he's really, that's a while from now, August 20th. Hopefully we'll see the body cam by then, maybe. And they'll appear. And some people, I know the 25 years looks really daunting. I've listened to so many different experts. Some are saying, he won't do that much time. He'll do a plea deal or he'll do whatever. It's just coke, unfortunately, and maybe he won't get that much time for that. But it's like the allegations against child neglect or endangerment or whatever they are, those might end up being more of the thing. Even if he doesn't do a lot of jail time or any jail time or whatever the heck happens with this case, people are talking about it's his brand that will be damaged. We're already seeing people on Twitter who's like, oh, I won't work with him and blah, blah, blah. And again, this is no holier than thou crap. This is no I'm better than anyone else. This is just another instance where we see the failure of certain lies from the enemy. People who watched Nick from the beginning, I guess he used to just talk about law stuff, cover these trials, but then he made a switch where he started going into, I don't even know what you call this thing you put on your private parts and kind of going into swinging, or I didn't watch him. I don't know. You have to watch him to see what the heck he talked about, but he made a turn because he got so popular with a certain segment, I guess, of women, maybe women around my age, who were like standing for him and everything. I don't know. And that's what he started playing to that crowd, but it went more into crazy stuff. It's hard to, just a person kind of looking on the outside, trying to see what's happening in this case. It's sad. But just putting, allegedly him being a Christian too, but putting his faith and trust in substances or other things to try and satisfy that hole inside, and just, I pray the Holy Spirit fills them all up and gives them the strength to beat whatever they're struggling with, and they can move on from this, even if his brand is damaged or what have you. I want him to be able to come back strong, healthy, clean, and his children to be healthy and not in danger. So that's my whole take on it. This is not some laughing at someone's downfall. This is pointing them to the Word of God. Zechariah 8:16. These are the things which you should do. Speak the truth with one another, judge with truth, and pronounce the judgment that brings peace in the courts at your gates. Very good for this legal case, since it involves LawTube and legalities and so many emotions from so many, I guess, different lawyers. It's all coming out who were friends with him, and people are criticizing those who are going too hard on Nick, or people are criticizing those who are too soft on Nick and don't care about the kids. And it's so much money wrapped into this and popularity, and some folks are like, oh, don't criticize a man when he's down at all, and they're like, that's right, you're a good one. And it's just weird because maybe it feels so familiar, maybe it feels like, oh, this is one of us, this is one of the YouTubers, and it's a different segment than true crime, of course, but true crime and LawTube are so intertwined, and people, I guess, were so on Nick's junk about, oh, what can he do for me? And maybe that's why some of them aren't really speaking out. Some are doing a great job. Oh my goodness, I just watched this one guy. He was great. great about being middle of the road, about being factual and logical and covering the facts of the case as we have them now. Of course, Nick still being innocent, Kayla innocent, April innocent, all until proven guilty, if at all, in a court of law. But some people are going so soft on this case because they're so personally involved. They have some kind of investment that I don't think they're being objective and clear-minded. They're acting like Nick's criminal defense attorney, and they're actually slighting the kids, some of them, in the process. It's so weird. So this will be a fascinating case to cover and see how it falls out and what'll happen with Nick and his channel, and will he make a big, great comeback? I pray he does, in Jesus' name. And if he does come back, I pray he comes back like more contrite. I don't like it when people are like, oh, all that news, it's all fake news, it's all this, when there's going to be video evidence of whatever happened, and we'll see what happens with this case in court. You know, I'm not crossing the line, I'm not defaming him, I just want to know what is truth. God help those kids, God bless those mandated reporters who literally didn't wait until it was too late. They saw a problem, they said something, they put themselves on the line to go against his rabid fans, obviously. They said something to save those kids. So thank the Lord for people who do that and they see past all the money and the fame and the whatever's going on here to do the right thing. I'll keep track of this case and many others like we always do. We'll see who gets that body cam first. Man, oh my goodness, $3,000. Take care.